notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you
All right, welcome in here on this Friday morning as we close out the week here at Tingle & Co. live from our Southern Regional Medical Center studio. Shout out to the team here at SRMC as they house Tingle & Co. every single day. Take great care of us. They'll take great care of you. Go ahead and turn that music down a tad and turn me up a touch. As they take great care of us here at Tingle & Co. They'll take great care of you. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport are the three locations of Southern Regional Medical Center. It is your choice. Don't forget, it's your choice. Where you go for your medical help, always choose Southern Regional Medical Center so they can take great care of you. We appreciate them housing Tingle & Co., which is always brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. It should be spinning right up here in the top left-hand corner of our show, and it will at some point. It will. I promise you the FanDuel logo will spin around right up here at some point shortly.
Nope, that's not it.
Yep. Nope.
That's not it either.
Come on.
We'll figure it out in the break.
Yep. FanDuel logo will end up on the screen, I promise. But while it's not, don't forget we are always brought to you by FanDuel. Go ahead and download the app. Head over to the website. I just opened the app up on my phone. It's that easy. You know, technology these days. There it is. There it is. There's that FanDuel logo right there. As we're brought to you by FanDuel. Every single time we're live, it's because of our friends over at FanDuel. Get ready for college football, which is right around the corner. You can start sprinkling on some Week 0 games, maybe even some Week 1 games, like -9.5 for LSU against Clemson on September 5th, which is 15 days away. First off, before Wyatt, I let you open that up, we will introduce the crew this morning. No LC. Lloyd is making his way to the mountains of Colorado so he can enjoy a nice little final vacation before we really get into the thick of things with football around the corner. We've all taken vacations besides LC. And so it just so happened that he had one pop up and let LC go take care of himself, pamper himself a little bit, get to the links to get ready for football. So instead of LC in the producer chair, if you can tell the lack of production this morning, I'm just kidding, it hadn't been bad. Doing a good job.
Yet.
Chrissy is running the board this morning. Go ahead and flip that camera to yourself. Let everybody see you.
My mic is on.
Yeah, it is.
W.
There you go. Nice.
All right.
Chrissy is running the production this morning
Like
over
old
there
time's sake.
from LC's corner. And then, of course, Wyatt, as always. Wyatt, good morning. Chrissy, good morning. How are we doing, boys?
Pretty good. Wyatt, putting
Pretty
you on
good
camera.
as well. Had a nice dinner last night. Team
Yep.
dinner. Fucking Mexicali Grande never misses from Superior
It
Grill.
is pretty good.
I'll tell you what, man. That cheese, I don't know what it is. It's like a cheese on top of I think it's an enchilada. Oh, drown me in it.
Hit the spot.
So fucking
Hit
good.
the
I'll
spot.
tell you what, every time.
Well, we appreciate all of you starting your morning with us here. Me, Chrissy, Wyatt, a lesser team without LC, but still the team. And we appreciate y'all getting here. Wyatt, 15 days away. What is today's football day countdown?
We have got
have in store?
15 days left until LSU versus Clemson in Tiger Stadium, as you said. A couple of players, Miles Brennan, Malachi Dupree, and then the two on this year's team, Phillip Wright and Jaden Breaker. Two interesting ones on this year's team, I would say. I think Phillip Wright's gotten a little bit of publicity recently after he beat Ty Benefield on that clip that LSU posted, and then Jaden Breaker recently moved to Edge. Looks like he's doing well. But the play I've got today, and probably the most famous 15 in the history of LSU football, Mr. Matt Flynn, involved on the play as a placeholder. It's a fake field goal flip. Now, I'll give you the play-by-play here. Up 14-7, number 2 LSU versus number 12 South Carolina. A minute and a half left in the first half here in Tiger Stadium. Colt David 0 for 1 on field goals on the day. Missed a 42-yarder. Here's the snap. Oh, my God. Matt Flynn flips it over his head. He's got a lead blocker. 10-5. Touchdown Tigers.
There it is.
Look at this wry little smile by this little minx, Les Miles. LSU takes the lead. Steve Spurrier is absolutely furious
Steve Spurrier.
on the sidelines. All right.
No, what a play it is. Look, shout out. We let Ro know the other day. Pass that number down to Colt David.
Absolutely.
Playmaker. Great play. Great play call. Excellent
That's 2
work.
days in a row we've had fake field goals now.
That is-
I'm going to have to figure out on Monday what's the next one.
That is the Les Miles era for you. And Florida just seems to be on the receiving end. Steve Spurrier hates it as they just keep haunting him. But good morning, boys. 15 days away. Football is right around the corner. Like, genuinely, it is 2 weeks from tomorrow. LSU kicks off in Death Valley. 1 week from tomorrow, football in general, college football, is back with week 0. Man, you can just feel it in the air. Everyone that brings it up, you can just feel football around the corner. And with that, some of us just can't wait to get there because it kind of can replace the talking season that we have lived through. Look, I am, I would say, very glad for how this offseason has transpired because, of course, there's been plenty to talk about, right? A lot of times in the offseason, in July, you can kind of get a little stale of like, we can't really talk about game number 1 for an entire month and a half, or can we? But LSU's just consistently provided content for us to talk about, and that has not slowed down even with the game inching closer. I want to start today's show with a similar discussion to yesterday, but I was reading an article this morning written by Ross Dellinger over at Yahoo Sports, senior college football reporter, who does an excellent job and is always the most on top of these sorts of things, the legality things, right? Anything that has to do with litigation, the NCAA, he's the guy that I go to read. So shout out to Ross as he put this article out last night. But college sports had a first. I'll read through some of it this morning via Ross Dellinger. College sports had a first on Thursday. An NFL player entered the transfer portal. So he continues on to talk about that situation that we kind of talked about ad nauseum yesterday. The players are part of a large group who sued the NCAA and the Louisiana court in an attempt to gain a 5th year of eligibility. They go through all this. Those athletes believe that they should receive a fifth season too, like all the other current and future college players. Many judges believe so as well. And so he continues on. He talks about the judge, talks about it being in a Louisiana court, and ultimately gets to the point where he kind of insinuates that this is LSU at the forefront of this and that this is LSU putting this in action. And we kind of talked about it a good bit yesterday because we told you, you have the puzzle pieces in front of you. When you put those puzzle pieces together, it paints a pretty clear picture. And so he says, the Louisiana case did not simply randomly appear out of the thick, muggy air of Baton Rouge. The primary named plaintiff in the lawsuit is Jack Pyburn, a former LSU starting edge rusher who signed an undrafted free agent. He says, if you aren't connecting the dots, a Louisiana state judge in a case filed in Baton Rouge paved the path for Pyburn to return to play for the Tigers. In the next paragraph, he says, there are 3 Ole Miss players in the group too, including Wright, all of whom were previously coached by former Rebels coach Lane Kiffin, who is now coaching LSU. Those with knowledge of the situation in Baton Rouge and beyond have made it quite clear the lawsuit was an orchestrated effort originating from LSU's campus, but LSU isn't alone in supporting athletes fighting for more eligibility and holding roster spots. So you see there Ross kind of painting the picture of what's transpiring, what transpired, and then kind of what, if you put the puzzle pieces together, what it looks like. And so great work by Ross, and I think it just goes along with what we said yesterday. It's not a difficult thing to put together when you see it. Daquan Wright officially yesterday announced that he is entering the transfer portal. I read a tweet yesterday that said, Cleveland Browns tight end Daquan Wright is entering the transfer portal. Before we get into the rights or wrongs of this entire thing, can we all agree that that's wild to kind of read? Similar to the R.J. Luis transfer graphic itself, is that once again, we have ended up in a place in college athletics that I just don't think I ever imagined we would be.
No, it's unbelievable. And so with that situation specifically, I saw a Tom Mars tweet last night, which maybe you'll remember him. He was very, very vocal on Twitter during the Trinidad Chambliss case. So he had actually read through the entire thing, and he had a couple tweets last night that I found extremely interesting. From Tom Mars Law on Twitter. I read the Louisiana TRO, but that doesn't answer the 2 questions I have. 1, how did Daquan Wright enter the transfer portal without being enrolled as a student? And 2, he couldn't access the portal without a school entering his name in the system. So who did that? And then he went on to say, paragraph 7 of the Louisiana TRO did not say that the plaintiffs could enter the portal by requesting the member institution they last attended to do so. Instead, it says athletes could request their member institution to enter their name into the portal, implying they would need to be enrolled as a full-time student to make that request. So I don't think anyone really understands how this is working. You hear in Ross Dellinger's case saying the attorneys think that in a Baton Rouge court, the SEC won't be able to uphold its rules about the intra-conference transfers and all of that. So I think everyone is kind of flying by the seat of their pants and trying to figure this thing out as they go. It's just the most wild situation I've ever seen.
It is. Like I said, I mean, this is all a representation of when NIL started. Like we talked about it back then, it was trying to build a plane while you're flying it, and that is still what is transpiring. Like no one really understands or knows what any of these things are, what they mean, how it works. You know, you're like we were talking to somebody last night, and it's like for us in this business, I mean, we got into this business to talk about sports, and we're having to learn legal jargon, right? Because that is half of the game these days is what are the courts saying? What does this document filing mean? What do all these words? I've said injunction more in the last 6 months of my life than I said for the first 23 and a half years. Mm-hmm. I've never said the word, and then 6 months I've said it every day, right? TRO is something I never even heard of, and I can't stop saying it because it's the most popular thing in the sport. And so it's interesting to Wyatt's point, how it's being built, how it's being structured, kind of as time is going on. No one knows what's transpiring. But I think Ross is exactly right. It's what Wyatt said yesterday. This had LSU. It reeks of LSU. It just looks like LSU. LSU's not alone, but when you look at Pyburn, Wright, Harris, those guys, the puzzle pieces would tell you it seems like LSU's got something. And that's why our takeaway yesterday, and it will stand there today, I would assume LSU is going to be active in going after these guys. They want. I would assume LSU wants Jack Pyburn to play football and wants him on this roster. I would assume that offense understands and wants Daquan Wright to be a part of it because you become a better team. I will lay the foundation the same way I did yesterday. LSU will be okay. LSU will still be a good football team if they add nobody. I'm confident in this roster who Lane Kiffin and LSU are, but it would be nice to add an experienced edge rusher who is really, really good against the run, can shift inside, because it just gives Blake Baker another piece. And talk about giving a side of the ball another piece. Think about what LSU's offense could be if they're able to add a guy that had 600 yards in it a year ago. At a position where you lack a little bit of depth and experience outside of your starting guy who you already don't want to have attached to the line. And so it just makes too much sense. So it was cool. It was interesting to see Deli put out that article this morning and kind of highlight and put attention on LSU in this case. And that's why the thumbnail of today's show, the title of today's show, is LSU versus the world. Because you are at the forefront of these things. This is what we talked about. This is what got Lloyd fired up yesterday. Shout out, I see Lloyd in the chat. It was LSU finally on the forefront of things, finally being willing to push bounds, finally being willing to not play scared. Instead, they're doing what they have to do to win. And that's not just football, that's basketball as well. That's why it's LSU versus the world, because you have to push the bounds to win. The two coaches in the thumbnail this morning are Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. We said it yesterday. I'll reiterate it. LSU could not be in a better position from a head coaching standpoint for an ever-changing landscape than those two guys, Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, Jay Clark, go down the list. But I'll highlight these two specifically because they are coaches who push the boundaries and really don't care what people think about it. Yesterday, Greg Sankey spoke out. Christy, I think I have a graphic in VMix that you can throw up on the screen with a piece of the quote from Sankey. Because Greg Sankey filed another affidavit in an eligibility case involving an SEC school. And this one involves former St. John star R.J. Louis, who's attempting to get eligible at LSU. Sankey called it a competitive disadvantage and a fundamental unfairness. Here is part of that quote. Preventing pro athletes from returning to the NCAA is essential to the integrity of college sports. Shout out to Bussin' with the Boys for the graphic. This is said by Greg Sankey. I'll read through more of the affidavit here. He says, because he asked Judge Ronald Johnson, who is the East Baton Rouge Parish judge, who is hearing the R.J. Louis case on Monday, which will be the next biggest news in kind of this whole thing, because let's get it understood, these are all similar. All of these cases are not that different. And so I understand that R.J. Louis didn't exhaust all of his eligibility and went to and decided to go to the pros and all these things, but at the same time, the Trinidad Chambliss situation played out the way it did. There was not a year of eligibility for Trinidad. There just literally was not one there for him, and it was created by a court, created by a judge. Irreparable harm, right? And with R.J. Louis, it's a similar situation. Sankey asked Judge Ronald Johnson, East Baton Rouge Parish, to uphold NCAA rules that prevent athletes from returning, saying the decision is essential to the integrity of college sports. He continues on, these rules are grounded in the principle that athletics are an integral part of the academic experience. The rules align the time permitted for college athletics with the pursuit of an undergraduate education and further the important purpose of preserving opportunities for future student athletes to participate in college sports. So essentially, Greg Sankey, who did the same thing with the Charles Bediako situation at Alabama a year ago. But you see him speak out against LSU, against a move that LSU is making with R.J. Louis. But to me, right, I understand that the R.J. Louis situation looks different. He plays 3 years, decides to go to the NBA, never plays an NBA game, never plays a G League game, plays in the Summer League, was on 2 teams, suffers an injury, and ends up being let out of the NBA, no longer a part of it. And you could say, if the NCAA or whoever doesn't allow him to go back to college when he has a year of eligibility, he was a 2022 recruit, all of these things, it could do irreparable harm to his professional life. They would be holding him back from making money, holding him back from the opportunity to get back what was his. And I don't know how you could be against it if you're okay with these guys who are leaving college football, going to the draft. I get that they should have been grandfathered in from the jump. I agree. But ultimately, they went to the NFL. The opportunity is there for them to come back. They should. And if you are a legitimate program and you want to win, you pursue it. You make it happen. Do I agree with it? Do I think this is great for the – I'm not entirely disagreeing with what Sankey is saying. But I'll be very interested to see if Sankey has something to say about the football side. Because it's easy to frown upon the basketball standpoint of things, right? To point your nose down and have feelings about basketball. How outspoken are you going to be about the moneymaker? How outspoken are you going to be towards LSU and Alabama and Georgia and Texas in the sport that brings in all the bread? That's what I'll be interested to see, because ultimately, if you're going to bash LSU basketball for pursuing R.J. Luis and taking advantage of the situation that's at hand, which is the situation, that's what's going on. They're taking advantage of what the sport is, the lack of rules. If you're going to be upset with that, you can't be okay with what's going on the football side. You can disagree with what's transpiring, but also understand that it's these programs' job to win. Ultimately to win. Mm-hmm. R.J. Luis wants to come back and play college basketball. Will Wade wants to win. R.J. Luis, really good basketball player. Would help Will Wade and LSU win. Jack Pyburn sat in a press conference and said he regrets the way he handled college, right? He says he left some meat on the bone, essentially. Would love the opportunity to go back and do it right in a Tampa Bay Bucks press conference, which is fine, right? I could sit here and say, you know what? I regret in high school that I didn't put the pads on and play football. As a 24-year-old, I can say that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I can't do is go re-enroll at Central High School and play football.
Well,
but maybe I could.
We were saying that about college football, and look at where we are now.
And that's the point exactly, where Jack Pyburn's wearing a Tampa Bay Bucks shirt. He's in front of a Bucks sign saying, I wish I didn't leave some of that meat on the bone in college, and I wish I performed to the utmost of my abilities.
I'd like to take my talents back.
I'd like to go back. And he can. And so if you're LSU, if you're Jack Pyburn and you want to go back to college, and the rules allow that, and you're LSU, and you want an edge rusher, you want Jack Pyburn, why wouldn't you? And so if you're okay with that, you got to be okay with the other side. And that's what I'll be interested to see from Sankey. That's what I'll be interested to see from a lot of people who have been outspoken on these situations. I'll be interested to see the fallout of an injunction for R.J. Luis or an injunction for Jack Pyburn and Daquan Wright. Because that's the one that really interests me. The Pyburn situation is one thing.
Yeah.
Where he's coming back to the program he was at, the defense he was in. The one that I'll be very interested to see, if it happens, if LSU does get Daquan Wright, and he gets an injunction, and he gets to play football for LSU after playing in the preseason for the Browns, right? It's crazy. That includes a handful of situations that are messy. The one messiest to me is that he'd be switching schools,
right?
Which I think would open the door to a lot of conversations. What do you anticipate some of the fall? I wouldn't say fallout, but situation to look like after some of these rulings if they were to happen.
Well, before I touch on that, I do want to touch on something you said, and it's something I've been seeing throughout the fan base and other fan bases the past day or two, and then even going back to the R.J. Luis situation. It's people who are vindicating the coaches right? And vilifying the coaches, talking about LSU, how they're desperate, right? And look, this is a good football team, regardless of if they go and add anybody, right? Calling LSU desperate, though. To me, I don't understand how someone can say that about the head coach of a massive program, of a massive institution like an LSU. To me, I want my head coach to be desperate to win. Do you not think Nick Saban was desperate every single offseason to make his team as good as humanly possible before they stepped out on the football field every September? That's what you want in a head coach. So I don't think it's desperate from a sense of, oh man, we are a horrible football team, and if we don't add this guy, we're going to suck. No, it's desperate. These guys have families, they have lives, they have legacies they're trying to take care of and curate. Lane Kiffin wants to win more than anybody else in the state of Louisiana. I don't think he cares about the optics of what some guy says on Twitter or what what's the guy?
Jeff Goodman.
Jeff Goodman. Like, I don't think anyone cares about that, because if you win a national championship 10 years from now, no one's going to remember that. All that you're going to remember is that Lane Kiffin brought LSU to a national championship. So I hate the desperation thing that people are clinging to. But what was your question? You said asking me about fallout.
Like what would transpire after, right? Like if you see, I think we all kind of universally accept the R.J. Luis situation. If it was to play out, he gets an injunction, he can play for LSU. That's one we've been on top of for a while. We've said, like, I think a lot of people will probably push back on it. Now, I don't think it'll be as big as the Sorsby situation,
right,
where people are coming out and saying don't schedule them because they've already scheduled LSU, and they've understood that this is going to transpire. So I don't think it'll be as big of a deal, but I think we've discussed a fall on that point. The one that's interesting to me is Daquan Wright.
Yeah.
If that was to happen, what it would look like after.
So that's the interesting thing to me. I think we talked about this the day that this came out. I'm not necessarily worried about the fallout or any backlash with the NCAA. To me, the NCAA has proven time and time again they have absolutely zero power.
Right.
Anything that they say, we're going to bring you to court and you're going to lose every single time. Like even the Alabama situation with Charles Bediako, he was ruled ineligible after he played a couple games. And this was the wildest thing to me, because they had the temporary restraining order while he played the 3 or however many games and won games with Alabama. They still can't vacate those wins or punish Alabama, even though they had technically an ineligible player, right? So the NCAA is powerless. So from a fallout perspective, the only thing that I would be concerned about, the only thing that could mess this up for LSU is if you get into a Brendan Sorsby territory. Now, obviously, not the same situation whatsoever. The Sorsby one is far worse. But if the SEC were to send out a memo saying, hey, we're not playing LSU this year, if the Big Ten was saying, hey, don't put LSU on your schedule going forward because they're doing this. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, because I think you're going to see a lot of schools take advantage of this. Like, if you don't think Ohio State or Oregon or Miami are licking their chops right now, looking at these good players that are now in a little portal window for a week that can help them win a national championship, you're out of your mind. So I don't think any of this would happen, but the only fallout that I could see that would hurt LSU is if it's within the league, within the NCAA, not by the NCAA, if it's teams, administrators, and stuff like that. And to be honest, I don't think it happens, because I think a lot of teams will take advantage of this.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see kind of how this all plays out, because I do understand the standpoint of the Luis and the Pyburn situation being different in some situations, right? Like Pyburn left because he thought he had no eligibility left. Luis left knowing he had a year of eligibility left. The one that I kind of equate the Luis situation to really is Trinidad Chambliss. Right? Like, Trinidad had no conversation. There was no eligibility for him to have. Trinidad is not eligible. He is playing under a injunction. Like, that's the situation. The NCAA appealed. There was an injunction. He's now eligible. He can play this entire season, and then it'll be ruled on or whatever after the fact. That's the one that I would equate it to the most, and there's more grounds with the 5 for 5 and all these things, and I think it plays in the favor of LSU So I understand that there are these minute differences, but the situation is the same as if there is a way for you to have a competitive advantage and for you to be in a better position to win, you do it. If you're Will Wade, you go do what you need to do to win. If you are Lane Kiffin, you go do what you need to do to win. On the RJ Luis situation, I mean, multiple teams have signed players that have signed professional contracts overseas and played in the EuroLeague, right? And all these different, maybe the NBL in Australia, whatever. They've played overseas. They've had professional contracts, and now they're enrolling in colleges to play college basketball. Those ones are okay, right? But because RJ Luis did it for a summer league game in the NBA, that's when it's different. Or because he started in college. It's messy, and what you've learned is when it's messy, that equals an injunction, and that's all you're playing for. I don't think the RJ Luis situation will end up with him being deemed eligible. What it would end with is an injunction, just like Trinidad Chambliss. So I do understand that there are differences in the situations, but ultimately, if you are going to be for your program doing what's necessary for a competitive advantage, you kind of got to be okay with all of it. Will Wade was hired to do the same thing Lane Kiffin was hired to do. And that's win games. And so you can have your feelings about the specific situations, but ultimately, they're the same thing. They are a route to winning. And I agree with Wyatt's point. From a desperation standpoint, that's not what this is by LSU. What it is from LSU football is an opportunity to get better. And like I said yesterday, to go from really good to elite, because elite teams have depth, and nobody has depth anymore. This is a route to go and get depth, to add depth pieces. Why would you not go add Jack Pyburn to your team? Why would you not go get an edge rusher with experience that played well for you and makes your defense that much better? Because he makes your defense better. You now have more depth, more experience in an edge room where you lacked some of those things. You now give Blake Baker the ability to be more multiple defensively, to create different packages, right? To shift Pyburn in an odd front into the interior of that defensive line and have some speed guys to go get a pass rush, right? Because Pyburn is so good against the run. It gives you the ability to do things. If Daquan Wright, there's an opportunity to go get him, why wouldn't you? If you're Lane Kiffin, if you're Charlie Weiss. This is a guy who balled out in our system a year ago. You give me the opportunity to make this happen, I'm going to make it happen. Because it makes you that much better. And their job is to win. That's all it is. And it's not to win the PR battle. It's not to win the moral battle. It's to win football games. For Will Wade, it's to win basketball games. For Jay Johnson, it's to win baseball games. Your job is to win. And ultimately, we can sit back and we can go, look, this just isn't right. The integrity of sports, all those things. I promise you, you'll forget about the integrity of sports when you're down by 21 in the third quarter because you're playing against former NFL preseason guys and you don't have any. That's when you'll forget about the moral battle, when you're losing. Like, I don't think anybody sits back and goes, man, I used this example the other day. Glad we suspended Tyrann Mathieu, even though we could have maybe used him in that 2012 Alabama game. Because we did what was right, And look, I would say the Tyrann situation's different. It worked out, and it is. I don't think Tyrann Mathieu is the same man he is today if he doesn't go through that. But LSU, that's just an example of how LSU's always been compliant, safe, scared. I'll use the firing of Will Wade as an example. Oh, no, we could maybe get in trouble on some things. Let's cut bait and hide. Let's fire Will Wade instead of maybe just holding through and being okay. Let's jump the gun and be scared. I'm here to let you know now that is not who LSU is anymore. You can try to punish them. You can try to scare them. There's a commitment to winning at LSU that I don't know if we've ever really seen before. You know, Lane Kiffin is an outside-of-the-box thinker. I think he's more of a create-a-new-box thinker. It's not, this is where we're at. Let me see how I can expand on that. That's what he said. What's the new box? What's the new way to win? What's the next step for us to be better? And I really do think it's a breath of fresh air sitting back that LSU is this committed to winning.
100%. We've been begging for this since Nick Saban left. And look, I truly do understand the people who are upset about the direction that college sports is going, because I am one of them.
We share that sentiment.
Right. I don't think anyone in this room on a full level scale wants professional athletes to be able to come back and play college sports. That is not the game we grew up with, and it's not what we want. No one wants that. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing I keep saying, if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it.
Yep.
And guess what? I don't want to be sitting in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium down 14 because Daquan Wright just scored his second touchdown. I don't want to be sitting in Tiger Stadium against Texas A&M down 14 because you can't stop the run because you decided not to add Jack Pyburn, right? You have to do whatever it takes to win. And I don't understand, again, the vilifying of the coaches in this situation. If you give a 5-year-old a paintbrush, you can't be mad if he paints your room. Like, they are doing everything that they can to win. If there are no rules and it is lawless, they are going to do everything they can. And like you said, it is a breath of fresh air to have a coach who's not standing on his moral high ground saying, we're not going to do this. We're going to let everybody else do this. Because you don't think in 2012, Alabama had someone who maybe messed up and Nick Saban said, hey, we'll handle this in-house. We'll sit him out for the first half against Colgate, and that'll be his suspension. That's not what we did, and I know Lloyd likes to make fun of me for standing on my moral high ground, but at a certain point, if you're the only one doing it and everybody else is taking advantage of the rules or the lack thereof, you're the idiot, not them. And it like you said, breath of fresh air that LSU is at the forefront of doing this.
I was surprised yesterday when Lane Kiffin met with the media. He was only asked one question.
Yeah.
On this. I was surprised. And look, we weren't there. We could have been, and we weren't. So I will take some blame that I could have been there to ask the question. I'm not upset with the media members for not asking. It was asked. Lane's answer, and I want to ask, because we talked a little bit about it yesterday, what our reaction would be on how he answered this question. He was asked about the recent Louisiana ruling, 16 players eligible via a TRO. His quote was, I think there's a lot into that and the questions that come from that. Fair question, but I'm not going to comment on any of it because there's just too many directions of questions I can go to. I also thought, I remember him bringing, there was a little something that came up later, if I can find which specific question that was.
I believe it was when they asked him about the offensive line.
Is that
depth.
what it was?
I believe.
Oh, here it is. So, yes, he was asked about the O-line depth. It's a concern and something that is high on our list of concerns right now, so we've got to continue to get guys better. They got to improve so that we feel more confident with that. I guess before – this is the part right here. So, everybody turn your ears on. Lock in. I guess before yesterday, normally we'd say our team is our team, and so it's what we got. But I guess that potentially changes yesterday. But other than that, we're going to get the guys better. So those were the two. One was a direct answer, and one was a, like we said, and Lloyd kind of pointed it out yesterday with Lane, sometimes on some of these questions you can put your ear a little bit closer to it and kind of get something out of it. I thought, I looked at Wyatt when we were listening to him, when he said, I guess before yesterday, normally we'd say our team is our team, and so it's what we got, but I guess that potentially changes. Wyatt, what was your reaction? Chat, room, what was your reaction to Lane's first answer, where he says he's not going to go into it with all the questions that can come from it, and then, of course, maybe the little hint he dropped in that second answer?
See, so my main takeaway, because I've since this came out a couple of days ago or whatever it was, 2 days ago, I've been pretty confident Lane Kiffin is going to do what he can to go and get one of these players. Like we've talked about ad nauseum for the last 2 days, he's going to do what it takes to win. My main takeaway from this was that this is off of a question about the depth of the offensive line, which is not really a position group that we've talked about when it's come to this. It's been tight end, it's been cornerback because you need a cornerback 3, edge because the depth is not great there, interior defensive line because you've got a lot of young guys there. So my main takeaway is that there are probably guys that they may be kicking the tires on at some position groups you wouldn't even think you need anybody at. And it's because, as we've talked about, Lane Kiffin is going to exhaust every means possible to make this the best football team possible. If he feels like there is an interior or a tackle offensive lineman that can help this team win this season because he's worried about the depth or for whatever reason, he's going to go out and get it. So my main takeaway was you may see something of this come out that no one's expecting. You may see them go out and get a cornerback who was not on anybody's radar because we've really only talked about the 3 players,
right?
Harris,
Pyburn,
Wright, and Pyburn.
Yeah.
So that was my main takeaway is, and look, I'm not saying they're going to get anybody in this whole thing, but I wouldn't be shocked if they make a move that maybe no one was expecting. Because for that to come on an offensive line depth question is very interesting to me, and that was my main takeaway.
No, I was very intrigued with that answer. I mean, I remember looking at you after he said it. It's just that's who Lane Kiffin is. That's what this LSU program is that they're willing to do what it takes to win, right? Like, and that's the part where I understand the feelings about things, right? The professional players coming back, I understand not being a fan of it. I understand not being the fan of a $40 million roster. I understand not being the fan of bringing in 30 new transfer players every year. I understand not being a fan of the way the sports have changed. But you don't win anything by doing it the old way, you know? Like look at Clemson. Like I will continue to say, and maybe this makes people feel some type of way and it'll make you a little more nervous. As time gets closer, I only feel more confident in this football game that LSU plays on September 5th. I just don't think Clemson's ready for it, for what that stadium's going to be. And you have 2 programs who are the opposite. You have a head coach in a program in Dabo and Clemson that is still holding and grabbing onto the past of how it used to go. And that's not a knock against Dabo because he did a good job when it came to building a program and culture and all those things. I mean, former Clemson players will die for Dabo Swinney. Like, you cannot speak ill of Dabo because he creates that relationship with him, and I respect it. But the sport has changed. Dabo, you got to wake up, and he hasn't. Lane Kiffin and LSU, on the other hand, are ahead of the curve. Crazy to say. Ahead of the curve. They know the change that's coming before the change happens. And that's where, when I sit back and I look at it, I only continue to feel confident. And that's where my feelings come from. I get not, like, if you're not cool with a $40 million roster, I get it. If you don't like pay to play, I understand. I'm not the biggest fan of pay to play. You know, like, it's not what college sports are, you know? I mean, even though it's what it has been, but it's very public now. You got $4.5 million quarterbacks playing. You can have your personal feelings about it. I'm telling you, those feelings go away when you're losing. Clemson can stand on the moral high ground of, man, we don't build our roster through the portal. We build it through high school recruiting and Clemson legacies and all these things. I tell you what, you get sick of those things when you're down in the 4th. You've seen how they've begun to change.
Great sweater.
That is a great pullover. There he is, Chuggy Sunshine, making his way in this morning.
What's up?
How are you?
Good. How about y'all?
We're doing well. We got a rookie over here on the 1s and 2s.
Whoa, what happened here?
So Lloyd is taking a little vacation right before football gets started.
Lloyd is on vacation.
Yeah, a quick little weekend trip.
Why is
Play a little
Lloyd on
golf.
vacation? Where's he going?
He's gonna play a little golf in Colorado.
Nice.
Him and his dad. So
Nice.
we had to put.
Bonding.
Absolutely.
You and Papa Vaughn do that?
Golf? No, I'm not. We're not a big.
Y'all just take like a little trip to.
I don't think just the 2 of us. We hang out though. We had some. I remember on the Disney cruise. Nice, great day with my dad. Serenity Bay, drinking pina coladas.
Love Serenity
Oh,
Bay.
just sitting out on the deck. Oh,
Love it.
and then a fucking Notre Dame fan came up to him and started talking to us about LSU. Ruined my day, but it was fun
Fair
before
enough.
that.
Well, I was on a Disney cruise with Marcus Freeman.
Oh,
No,
there you go.
man.
See, I would actually talk to Marcus
I
Freeman
did. I
because
talked to
he's
him a couple of
knowledgeable. I could definitely pick his brain about
Talked to him a
football
couple of
little bit.
times. I asked him if he was gonna, when Brian Kelly left, would he want to consider LSU?
Really? What did he say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But his wife didn't want to come to Baton Rouge.
And then he got offered the head coaching job. So
Yeah.
He was the head coach at the time,
yeah.
so he wasn't leaving Notre Dame. His
Fair
wife
enough.
didn't want to leave.
I like Marcus Freeman. As much
Isn't-
as I hate Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's a good seems
Isn't
like a
the
good guy.
worry about Marcus Freeman the fact that he would leave for Ohio State if offered the opportunity?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he played for Ohio State.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know. Notre Dame is a really good
I think
spot.
he's done a really good job at Notre Dame too.
Oh,
So, I
he's
mean,
in
like,
a great
course.
spot.
Oh,
What I
absolutely.
don't understand is, like, coaches like this. Like, Marcus Freeman's a great coach, okay? He's got a great gig at Notre Dame. He's doing very good things at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's turning around really good. Why would you leave for Ohio State? Because I played there. Okay, but you have a chance to build a dynasty at Notre
No,
Dame.
well, and honestly, he might not. Like,
no,
he
I
might
know, but I
just
mean,
stay.
like, I don't understand.
That's just
why
the word
coaches
around
would-
him is like,
Coaches would, if I get offered that job, I'm leaving.
right. Well, the same thing you said about Blake Baker was like, if he gets offered the Tulane job, he will take that and leave. Well, obviously, that's not true.
Correct.
So
Too-
the same thing
I
could
think
be
that's
true
a
there.
little different. But like the way I look at it, if I was a head football coach, that's the only way I can contextualize it. If I was a head coach at let's say Alabama, I can build a dynasty at Alabama. But in my head, growing up, being a head coach in my head, I've always imagined myself being at LSU.
Yeah.
So for Marcus Freeman, like, I get it. Like, he's always imagined his career
I think
playing out at Ohio State. And look, I respect that, honestly. And like Christian said, like, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he leaves.
Right.
And I also do think there's the conversation of Ohio State is a better job than Notre Dame.
Yeah, but my point to the whole story is why screw up a good thing? You're taking a risk to go to Ohio State or wherever, whether it be LSU to Alabama to LSU.
Right.
You're taking a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, like, you're looking at Ole Miss to LSU. Ole Miss will never win a national championship.
Yeah, that's a job promotion.
Correct.
And to me,
Ohio State, it probably
not as big of a promotion.
It's optics. It's Ohio State. Okay, but Notre Dame is like, that's the Catholics, man. You can't mess with the Catholics.
Yeah.
No, I'll be interested. Like, to me, the way in college athletics now, the biggest thing is me, Christian, and White were talking to somebody last night. It's the situation. Like, the situation you're in and the situation that's being presented to you is that you can be a good X and O's coach, but it's about the situation around you. Do you have funding? Do you have buy-in?
Now
Do you have
it's all about funding,
That's
right?
all that matters,
Right.
And so it's like, for Marcus Freeman, say Notre Dame loses their interest a little bit and they're not as bought in.
Yeah.
And Ohio State is like, we want a Buckeye guy to be here, to be a part of this, and we're willing to do similar to what LSU did, where if anyone else gets hired other than Kiffin, ain't no $45 million roster.
Right.
But Kiffin got here, and there's a buy-in that's associated with it, and that coach creates the situation. That would be the biggest thing for me, because I do think where it stands, Notre Dame is a great place to be a head
It
football
is.
coach, because
Listen,
you're not
you
in the
can take-
conference, and you'll be in the playoff every year.
Exactly. And so, look, I get people get complacent. We went to the playoffs, but we want to win the big one. Hey, man, sit on the other side and not get to the playoffs
Right.
for 4 years and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that and you go, man, making the playoffs isn't so bad after all, you know?
Well, and it's funny. I went to Notre Dame last year because one of my friends goes there, and so I got to experience a game day, do all that, talk to a lot of the kids there, and they're a little bit almost like spoiled. Like, their expectation is higher than what it needs to be. Like, they're thinking national championship every year. Now they have Marcus Freeman. They've been to the playoff. They were coming off a year where they went to the semifinal. Like,
Yeah,
I get it a
national
little
championship.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
national
Lost.
championship, right? So it makes sense a little bit, but like, guys, you're Notre Dame in 2026. Like, let's relax, all right?
Yeah, and I think,
And also, I think
I think
like
they've
they
gotten-
love Marcus Freeman though. Like
Yeah.
those kids.
listen, I
the
talked to
parents.
I talked to him several times, and he is a really great person. Like you can just tell he's, literally, when I first saw him, I'm like, man, that guy looks familiar. Hit my daughter, and I'm like, Alexis, who is that? She's like, Dad, I don't know. I'm like, man, I know that man from somewhere. So later on, we're walking around the ship. We're getting ready to go to dinner, and I see him, I hope he didn't see me staring at him because I was staring at him because I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm trying to put it together.
Yeah, and
You're
then all
looking
of
at
a
the
sudden,
spray on hair.
all of a sudden, no, and then all of a sudden I go, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
And then now we were in Europe. I happened to get a phone call from somebody at LSU, and I said, hey man, Marcus Freeman's on the ship, and they're like, man, go talk to him. He knows me, and tell him you know me. And I'm like, I don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The next night, we're in the theater, and the show is over, and he's walking out. He walks straight up to me, goes, hey, man, Charles? And I'm like, yeah, your wife, Joanne? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I said, how do you – I go, oh, so-and-so called you. He's like, yeah, he told me you were on the ship. He texted me and told me you were on the ship. So we started talking. So as we were walking out, and I'm like, hey, man, listen, if Brian Kelly ever leaves, on his own or not on his own, would you consider LSU? And he started laughing. He goes, they know I would consider that job. But he did say, I don't know if my wife would want me to take that job.
Yeah. No, I think Notre Dame, Ohio State, and LSU all kind of sit in their own position from a job standpoint.
Right.
You're like with Notre Dame, I know they have other schools in the state, but they're not in a conference.
Right.
And so it's not like you're recruiting against Indiana, who you're in the same conference with.
Correct.
You're in this kind of interesting spot. Ohio State, same thing. You're the only Power 4
Do
program.
we know what Notre Dame spent on their roster this year?
I'm not sure.
It's a
They've got
good bit.
They've got a really good
great
roster.
They're going to
Is
be
it
very
40
good
million?
this year.
I mean, in the 40 million range?
I don't know if they were in
I
that
don't know.
because someone put out a list.
Yeah,
of the
and
$40
there was
million roster.
the 40 millions, and then they're like that just missed 40 million. But no, Notre Dame is in a great spot, and I think when it comes to like coaches, a lot of times like the perception is your reality. You know what I mean? Like we can sit here and talk all you want.
They
about,
did exceed 40 million.
Okay, fair enough to
LSU,
them.
Miami, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and A&M.
Yeah. But like I was saying, like your perception is your reality. If we can sit here all we want talking about LSU is a better job than Florida, let's say. If Lane Kiffin, for whatever reason, prefers the Florida job, maybe he has people over there that he likes, maybe he likes Florida better than Louisiana, he's going to go to Florida because maybe he thinks Florida is a better job. The objective truth doesn't matter. It's what his perception is.
You got to look in the mirror.
Well,
Exactly.
and then
yeah, I get it.
I would say Marcus Freeman's perception probably is that Ohio State is a better
Would
job.
you take the Florida job?
No, I'm born and raised
No,
LSU.
no,
Tiger.
I would take it, but I would take the Ohio State job over Notre Dame.
100%.
Really, man.
It's just like Brandon Holloway makes a good point in the chat. Like, and it's true. Like Ohio State's just never been bad.
Yeah.
Like, they have the state
And
to
let's-
themselves,
And they only have to win, 1 or 2 games?
and they've got to
Yeah.
win a couple games. A
beat
year.
Michigan.
Like that's
Yeah,
all
beat
you got.
Michigan. Yeah, and so like I
Well, you
just
can lose to Michigan and still
I'm
win a
partial
natty.
to Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I like Notre Dame football. I'm not a big Buckeye fan. I mean, it whole let's dot the I. It's
Yeah.
remedial. Stop. Grow up. Do something better. Look, I wish LSU would do something. Like I was watching. I don't know. I was on social media the last couple of nights. It's getting to be football season.
Oh, yeah.
And you watch Virginia Tech come into the stadium. and
Enter
play
Sandman.
Oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
a whole I got to be honest with you. Like, why can't we do something? like
LSU
that?
does the
Set it off is
pregame.
on the
Set
way.
it off.
LSU
Boosie,
does the
yeah.
pregame bands thing.
Yeah. Stop. Look, I don't mind the band.
Look.
I like pregame. That's one of my favorite parts when Mike the Tiger and
See,
the drum major high five. I
kind
love
of,
that.
They kind of do have that with calling Baton Rouge, but look,
No,
for
no, no,
me,
no, no, no,
look, I'm with you. No one's gonna like this. I don't like calling Baton Rouge.
No,
at
you're
all.
a fucking terrorist.
No, I'm sorry.
Get out.
I do not like it
Fuck
at all.
you.
I'd like
No,
them to put
fuck
NBA YoungBoy on before the
No,
fourth
hold
quarter.
on,
Hold
you.
on. Look,
All right.
Listen, now you and I agree a lot.
How fucking dare you.
And I like calling Baton Rouge, but let's be honest. LSU plays it way
Yes.
too
Oh my
much.
gosh. Thank you. Third
They
inning,
played-
seventh inning,
They play it in the first. They
halftime.
play it in the first before the game. They play it in the middle of the game. They play it at the end of the game. They play like, bro, you don't see Virginia Tech playing Enter Sandman.
I can see that.
except for the beginning.
Yeah.
and
I
it
can-
gets
yeah.
everybody hyped, and the whole stadium is jumping up and down. Not everybody's jumping up and down to calling Baton
I would love set it off to open the game, calling Baton Rouge going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I think you're in a,
See,
you're in a
I
great
can
spot.
see you saying that they play it too much because it does water it down a little bit.
A lot,
But
not a little
listen to
bit,
me.
a lot.
You
And they
listen
do it
to
every
me,
sporting
Charles.
event. The volleyball games have
Yeah,
it. It's like
soccer,
Jesus.
calling Baton.
Listen to me.
I mean, look, great song, but you're over.
No, outside of
You're completely
Death
overplaying
Valley,
it.
it's not as special. But I will tell you what, when they play that song and the entire stadium says Louisiana, it brings a tear to my
I
eye
agree.
without fail.
I do agree.
You cornball.
It's
As-
not cornball.
I agree with you.
It's not
corny.
cornball.
No, I agree
Oh,
with-
you ever
I
been to
agree,
Victory
Christian.
Hill, you fucking loser?
You're
Yeah, that's
corny.
what I thought.
You're corny.
I'm not
listen,
corny.
listen. It's the same thing. We just talked about this the other day in the office. I'm done with the Saints playing Get Crunked.
Yeah,
Enough.
I do. Yeah, that's
Enough.
fair.
They do
was a-
spam
was a
that song.
2009
Oh my
too.
thing.
gosh.
That and Choppa style. It's
Oh
like,
my
guys.
God! Like that was so 80s. Let's move on with the times. Listen, I give LSU band. Look, I love LSU band. I love pregame. I love when they march across the field. It's nostalgic. I love it. When you get in the stands or you get to a basketball game, can we play some different songs?
Yeah, I agree.
Da, 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 da. All right, we've heard that a billion times. These guys are almost everybody in that band is could be professional musicians.
Yeah.
Or are professional musicians. Can we play something current?
Yeah.
Please?
If only there
like
was someone
one
in the program
time
you could talk to about this.
I don't know. I hope somebody's listening. I say this every time. Like I've been to VCU when Will was here last time. I was privileged enough to fly with the team to VCU. VCU basketball game, they have about 9,000 people in that stadium or in the arena. They let them in 2.5 hours before the student section, 2.5 hours before the game starts, before tip-off. The band is so hyped up. I got to be honest with you, I was there to watch LSU, and I was hyped up for VCU. And we lost that game. But I'm like, come on. What is going on? We got guys like the pep band at LSU basketball doesn't really want to be there. No. They go there because they get free hot dogs, and they made to go there.
Well,
Let's get something.
Well,
Look, if
hopefully-
y'all don't want to go, I
Hopefully
get it.
winning can change that.
I do feel like you should add it, mix in like current songs.
Absolutely.
yeah,
because,
yeah,
like-
yeah, definitely.
And I'm
And
not
I'm-
talking about Taylor Swift Opalite.
Because that's the thing, like,
I wouldn't
and
mind.
they are the best in the world. But like
Corny.
the Human Jukebox at Southern, they're
great,
They're
yeah.
they're adding songs every week.
Yeah.
Hell
and we,
yeah.
Like they put
we
in
haven't
new
added
song
a
every
song in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking. Like, I've been going to an LSU game and I've listened to the same songs. I like to go inside. After pregame, I go inside into the suite and I'm like, I don't want to listen to it because I don't want to. Listen, and I sit directly. Our suite is directly across from the band.
Yeah.
So the music comes in. Shut them down and play the PA system, the sound system. Because I can't deal. Listen, I like warm-ups. I remember several years ago they used to play I'm From Louisiana.
Great song.
Great song.
Yeah.
And then
that
they used
shit.
to play Naturally 7, Air of the Night during
I like that
pregame.
one.
Great song. Great song. And then all of a sudden they got away with that, and now we're playing like Colin Baton Rouge.
Yeah, see,
or
like,
Morgan Wallen. And no offense, it doesn't hype me up. It does not
It
have
doesn't
yeah,
hype me
I
up.
agree.
Colin Baton Rouge does it for the fan. I think, like, I'm from Louisiana, like that before a kickoff.
Oh, it was elite.
No, that
Oh,
is
it's
great.
unbelievable.
I like it. I like it when they finish warm-ups and they go to the student section and hype up the student section.
Yeah.
But I prefer it more at the kickoff because to me, you're signaling to the players, look, not all of you guys are from Louisiana. But for these next 3 hours, you are honorary citizens of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I think
So-
it's called residents, not citizens.
Okay, residents,
Citizens of the
whatever.
United
It's-
States. You're
no
citizens
one
of the United
knows
States.
anymore. But either way, like, I do think, I agree, they do need some more, like, to change it up a little bit. Because Tiger Stadium specifically has been stuck in the mud for a little while, especially on, like, the light show where people are like, listen, we've got the greatest environment. We don't need all these gimmicks, right? And then they went to the light show. But
You know how much the
you
light
do
show
have to
cost
keep,
you?
what, a
20
lot?
million plus.
Are you out of your fucking
You
mind?
to spend that on a
No,
roster.
I'm in my
Fucking
mind.
take the lights down. What are we
No,
doing?
no. I don't mind the lights.
I love.
No,
the
I
lights.
do like the lights.
However,
I do like the lights.
play a good hype song
Yeah.
with the lights.
No, they did the set it off thing one night and it was awesome.
It was
Don't
awesome.
play Colin Baton Rouge every time you turn the lights on.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
come on.
And then it got to the point, like, when Ole Miss in 24, like, guys, we got to turn the lights back on. Like, y'all have kept them off way too long, and we're throwing our wristbands now
Right.
because you've left the lights on.
No,
for
I
too
started
long.
crying when they turned the lights off against Ole Miss.
You were throwing your wrist.
Who the fuck was? If you were in the
No,
student section
you're
that day,
an idiot. You're an
everybody.
I
'cause
got
you'd see
so
it-
mad about
you'd
that.
see it soar through the air, and you're like, oh my gosh,
You almost
give me
got
your
a
wristband.
15-yard penalty because of you, dumbass. But I
Could've.
do think.
But you were singing Colin Baton Rouge. Shut
yes,
up.
Yeah,
I wasn't hurting my team. I was getting hyped up. But I do think.
That's not getting. Okay, let's.
You were
let's-
crying.
Let's.
Yes.
Okay, it hypes up the fans. Okay, so you say some fans. out of 100 and whatever thousand people, it might hype up 50,000, maybe 60,000.
Yeah,
okay?
I would agree.
But who do we really want to hype up in those situations?
I agree.
The
See,
players.
that's my point.
The players.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
don't want
That's
to listen.
fine.
By the way, let's play Julio Iglesias and let the players come out to that. I mean, come on.
Look, I don't disagree that you do need to play music that hypes up the players. I'm just saying you have to play Call in Baton Rouge one time.
Yes.
And I don't
Going
think,
into the fourth quarter,
like,
I think is
see,
the
I don't
perfect time
even
to play it.
necessarily think it has to be that. I'd be fine with that. But I think you have to play it at some point. Maybe it's halftime. Maybe it's pregame. You have to play,
pregame.
bitch, I'm from Louisiana at a certain point.
Play Set
And
It
I
Off.
think you have to play. I would prefer to play Set It Off going into the fourth because that's where I want to hype up the players.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
ultimately, and this is what will be interesting.
But outside of that, you can play whatever you want.
this will be interesting about this season because it's a new era. You have a new head coach.
You
got
gotta-
all these things, and you're at a point now where I think people will be more okay with change because they're excited about what's going on. And so if you do make some, because I think some people are, they're traditionalists, like, no, we don't want any new songs. We want to play the ones we always played. You got to move on from that. Like, same thing with the basketball goal on the sidelines. People are not going to like the basketball goal on the sidelines.
Can I ask you a question? How many people really watch the sideline at an LSU football?
Oh,
game?
LSU wins. You don't need
a lot
gimmicks.
more
You
with
don't
the
need to
cameras
do
on
this
it.
and
I know, but I got to be honest with you. Usually they show the sideline like after a touchdown.
Yeah,
or
That's what I'm
after-
saying.
I have to say,
You
I
only
don't.
use the-
I usually go to the bathroom or go make another drink.
You
or
only
go
use
get
the
food.
basketball goal
Right.
after touchdowns anyways.
Right, so-
And so
my dad used to bring binoculars, and we would look at the sideline the whole game, and that was always the best. We'd have these nice
Do me a
binoculars.
favor. Do me a favor.
Yeah, what's up?
I just lost an ounce of respect for you saying that because that sounds like something the Vaughn family would do.
Well, my dad would bring them for me.
Binoculars.
I'd be a little kid. I'd be like, "Oh, look at
Yeah, when you were young. I get
yeah,
I do think
Markevius Minga."
this
you know?
season,
Good pull.
this season is the
Great
year
pull.
where they you might see some changes getting made, and
Yeah.
especially like Boosie was very vocal about
He
his
wants to come
desire.
out.
And Cajun says in the chat, $5 super chat, he says Boosie said it was his dream to walk LSU out to set it off, and that he has Lane on speed dial. Can you imagine how tilted Death Valley is going to crumble? Like this thing, like it'll be interesting to see how much they're willing to make a little bit different for the
and
excitement.
let's be honest, you got to do that before a big game like Texas, Clemson, Alabama.
He said the dream was
because,
Alabama.
Because here's the thing. Usually, due to traffic situations, the stadium isn't full when the kickoff is
Right.
happening. So you got to wait. And the big games it will be. But, come on, man. Like, whoever was in charge of this at LSU, please, please, please. I'm sure those band members would like to play some current music.
I do agree.
I'm sure. And listen, at halftime, we don't need to play the sounds of the 1940 whatever, a compilation of. Come on, man, play some music,
I agree.
please. LSU played Southern. Mm-hmm. Was it last year or year before last?
It was 2022.
Okay, 2022. Yeah. Everybody left after Southern's band played.
Right.
I went outside for halftime to watch Southern's band play. They play good music. LSU, listen, I love the band. I'm nothing against the band. They want to play good music. Let them play good music.
Yeah.
Like, I get the tradition. We kept the oak trees. We don't want people tailgating around oak trees. Great. But let them play. That doesn't have anything to do with music. Y'all are picking the wrong traditions.
I agree.
You need everything now in the sport, and it should be player focused. What music do
Yeah.
the players want to play?
Yeah.
Do they want a basketball
Hell yeah.
goal on the sidelines?
Hell yeah.
That's what they want. You can have a couple of things like the uniforms for big games. You should only wear gold, white, gold.
Right. I get it.
Right. But
I
like
get
if they want to wear white, purple, white for a game, feel free. Like
as long as you're winning, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do.
That's what it comes down to.
I mean, literally, LSU for basketball, they put a DJ in there. Mm-hmm. The DJ got restraints put on him. He could only play certain songs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are you kidding? Who is it? Is it Duke that plays the Killers? Or somebody on the
Mr.
East.
Brightside?
Mr. Brightside. The whole arena sings it. Michigan? So here's the thing. I get we got a bunch of old people in basketball games, and they don't want to listen to that music. I'm sorry.
It's not for you.
Exactly.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Look, I don't like going to Piccadilly. What do? I don't go to Piccadilly. Piccadilly sucks. It's for old people.
I know. I used to like it.
But that's
And look,
the thing.
when I'm old and I don't want to listen to that music, I just won't go out watch it on TV.
And guess what? Someone else can sit in the seat. Someone
Exactly.
young that wants to be there and gets excited about
and
it.
the other thing that pisses me off about basketball is And I get it. We didn't have great seasons the last 4 years, but people leave at the 7-minute mark, whether we're winning or losing.
I agree.
Like and the announcement brought to you by Acadian Airlines. Be careful driving home. It's 7 minutes left of the game. Stop,
Like, brother, we're gonna be real careful driving home because we're not gonna be moving.
Exactly. I mean, these people. The bus at St. James picked everybody up. I know I'm gonna get killed for this, but like, it's outside. Get the walkers.
No, look, I agree. Stay till the end.
Yeah, stay till the end. Like, I got to be honest with you. The last 4 years, stay till the end. There is no traffic at that
Yeah, exactly.
point. You can run. You can go whichever way you want it off of campus.
You could park your car under the fucking
Fly a
at
helicopter
the
PMAC,
to a
yeah.
parking
literally
lot,
right
out of
there.
like that.
And so like it just frustrates me, and don't send me a survey on what was your game day experience.
Oh, yeah.
Well, traffic sucked as usual.
The
for
team
football.
sucks.
The coaches are drunk. Not
There's
this
no
one,
Mike and
not this
Ike's.
one. No, they changed that.
I know.
They
I'm
changed
glad.
that.
I'm
They
happy
changed
for
that.
you.
Because
I
I'm
can't
going to
wait
be
to
honest
eat a
with you.
box of Mike and Ike's
Because
with
I
you
will.
at a game
I
this
will.
year.
I brought my own. I don't care.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
good
they
call.
can find me, do whatever
They're
you
not
want.
going to tell you anything.
No, shit, no. I'm telling you that now. I sat there literally. I got texted during one of the games last year because I had a Ziploc bag. And they're like, seriously, Mike and Ike's, you're not supporting the concessions? I go, if
you took them from
If
me.
you get Mike, I would buy 4 or 5 boxes of Mike and Ike's and hand them out to people.
Right.
Charity.
But you made that not possible by taking them away.
Exactly.
I agree.
I want to ask you your thoughts because it's been a lot of conversation around LSU, kind of in general, with NFL preseason and rookies trying to come back and a TRO getting granted. There's a court on Monday for a basketball player in the LSU basketball program. There's a lot, and LSU is once again kind of the poster child and on the forefront of all of it. Just wanted your thoughts on kind of the discourse around LSU.
I'll tell you this. I don't think what Greg Sankey said yesterday, if it's true, I don't agree with what he said.
Yeah.
You came out against somebody specific. If you wanted to say, hey, look, I don't agree with this, okay, but you came out with somebody. And so it feels a little personal. Mm-hmm. I heard everything yesterday. Oh, Greg Sankey hates Will Wade. I don't know that Greg Sankey likes anybody. Look at him. Look at him in the mirror. He looks like a complete Q-tip. I mean, I just, and so here's the thing. Like, it doesn't make any sense because a court in Ohio says this and a court in California says this. I think the NCAA is starting to feel like, or to me, it looks like the NCAA is starting to just fall apart. They can't control anything. You let this cat out of the bag when this NIL, this house case came about,
Right.
and now all of a sudden you're trying to like put fences around it.
Right.
No. You didn't put fences around it before. You ain't putting fences around it now. And I'm not just saying that because it affects LSU. It affects more than LSU.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
And so don't come here and act like, well, we got to straighten this out. Dude, we've been dealing with this for the last several years with this NIL money stuff. You can't get that under control. You got Congress trying to pass stupid laws to handle this NIL stuff. And stop. Just, I think I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to wind up going. There's going to be a case that goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, and it's going to get ruled on. And then the NCAA's. I just don't know that the NCAA has any effect on it. Like you can say we don't want it, but if the courts say they get it,
Right.
Then who are you?
No,
I mean,
you
it's
literally have
almost-
to listen to the courts.
The courts are actually making the NCAA look irrelevant, which
No, I
we
mean,
all
'cause they
kind of
are. Like,
we
I
all
mean,
kind of
yeah.
agree they are. but-
Genuinely, they are. Like that, regardless of what their ruling is or what they try to do, it'll just go to court.
right.
Yeah.
Like everything, it was just. It'll just take
And
to court.
Sankey is saying, LSU, I don't agree with this. Hey, man, I don't care. I don't agree with NIL where it's
Right.
at now. But I'm living in this world, and that's a world we have to live in. So you might want to just keep your mouth shut because you're getting paid a lot of money. How long has he been? Who's got to pull up how long Greg Sankey's been the commissioner at SEC?
Because that's the other thing is like you're and everyone's take now is it's on the coaches and the administrations to make the right decisions and to say no to these things. But
11 years.
Yeah, time.
But
term limits.
Their job is ultimately to do what? It's what's best for the university. It's what's best for athletic departments. It's what's best for the programs, and that's to win. Like what's best is always winning. And if you don't have rules in place that stop them from becoming better and putting themselves in a position to win. If R.J. Luis wants to play college basketball, you don't have a rule that can stop it, and Will Wade wants a better basketball team, he wants to win, he's going to do what he can to make that happen. If Lane Kiffin wants to win football games and Jack Pyburn wants to come back and play college football, and there's not a rule stopping it, they're going to do what's possible to make that happen because their job is to win.
Right.
And you can feel how you want to feel about it. You can say it's wrong, and I don't like it either.
Right.
But at the same time, their job is to win. And why it makes a great point when we talk about it is when you're sitting in the third quarter or the 10-minute mark of the second half in a basketball game, it would really suck if you were down because a former professional player's on the other team beating up on you, and you took the moral high ground to say, oh, well, we're not going to do that. We're just going to lose instead.
Yeah, in nowadays you can't do that. I mean, look, even in business you can't do that.
Right.
Look, we're going to play by the rules. I've always said this: as long as it's a level playing field, we're okay. But you can't have, well, this conference says you can't do this, but this, hey man, it's not about the conferences. It's about what the court system's out. It's not even what the NCAA says.
Right.
I mean, guess what, NCAA? You're irrelevant. Sorry. Sucks to be you. You did it, not us. You should have been in the forefront of this and putting some
legislation down.
This legislation, some
You should have been
rules.
prepared before you opened the doors.
Exactly. And now all of a sudden it's like, wait, oh wait, we gotta. This isn't right. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it is or isn't.
Well, I mean, we called it yesterday. We called it the purge. You know, like the purge is all crime is legal for 24 hours. So it's like saying, hey, the purge is happening. All crime is legal. It starts, and then you're going, yeah, but you can't steal and you can't kill anybody. It's like, well, you
Wait,
told,
that's my
Or you can
car.
only
Told us-
steal a certain amount.
Right.
You have to
You
stop after
You
$1,000.
can't steal more than
That's
you
not
can,
the-
you
you
can only
can't
steal
stop the
candy.
purge.
Right.
That's
Oh,
not.
that'd be good.
But I mean,
You
like,
push the limit until they tell you, like you press the boundaries until they
you're
literally
playing
say
by,
you
I gotta
stop.
be honest, I don't even see it's pressing boundaries. You're playing by the rules that are set.
Right.
And now if you don't like the rules,
Right.
then you have to. Why doesn't the SEC go to the courts and say, we want you to change this, or get with all the other conferences and say, hey, we want you to change this?
And that's the interesting part to me is Sankey comes out and talks about this. I'll be very interested. This is a point I made earlier in today's show. With the same thing kind of happening with football, does he come out and talk about that? Because he spoke out about Bediako last year. He's speaking out about Luis now. What about when the breadwinner wants to make moves like this? What about when football's doing it? It's easy to talk about basketball because it's that's jump change. You can still survive even if basketball's not all that good. Don't mess with football. Like, are you going to come out? You're going to say the same thing about Pyburn and them?
The golden goose. Who's writing the big checks from the SEC?
That's one that is super interesting to me because you're now running the risk of pissing off the NFL. And there are not a lot of people who I think can beat like a, hey, I'm a Tiger Judge in Baton Rouge, or a, hey, I'm a Red Raider through and through from Lubbock. The NFL can beat those guys. So if the NFL doesn't like what's going on with Jack Pyburn, Daquan Wright, these guys who are on NFL rosters coming back to college football, you run the risk of getting into a legal battle with the NFL. And that's one you will lose. Because right now, they're not losing any of them because the NCAA, I don't even think it's that they're making the NCAA appear weak. They just are.
Yeah.
They don't mean anything anymore.
They're just pulling they're pulling the wool off your eyes. They're letting you see what it is.
Right.
What they've always been.
And that's what the NCAA doesn't want. The NCAA is getting exposed.
Yes.
Is how
Yeah.
I feel.
They hid behind this curtain of amateurism.
And they don't want you to see what they're doing behind the scenes.
Right.
As long as we got control of it, well, guess what? The curtain's down, and now everybody's looking into your
bad.
house.
It's
and,
ugly.
and your house has never been clean.
No, never.
You've tried to say you were clean. You're nothing but a politician. You're a weak organization. And so just be done with it, man. Look, I don't understand people like Greg Sankey that comes out and says something like this, because it's almost political nightmare. It's political suicide. Like, just hey, man, we're going to let the courts play this out.
Well, he's putting himself in the position to where now that you've said it about this program, this player, and this sport, if it happens in the other one, like, that people are going to be, well, what do you think about it happening in football?
Right. And look,
What do you think
the
about
NBA, to your point, Wyatt, and the NBA could get pissed off too, because it's happening to them too. But the problem with the NBA is they have the G League.
Right.
So you don't have amateur or minor league football. So you're taking off the roster of football players.
That's the difference.
So, the Cavaliers really don't care if their G League player goes back to basketball, to college, but football does care. But eventually, NBA is going to care because it's going to affect them somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. And again, even with the NBA, you're going to lose against the NBA. You get
100%.
you're going to get these professional
when the
organizations.
professional leagues get into it, it's a whole different ballgame.
And so
Yeah.
be careful what you're saying and what you're doing because, why can't a kid come back? If you gave him a 5th year, why can't he come back?
Well, they created a 5th year for Trinidad Chambliss is going to play an entire season as an ineligible player because he's playing under an injunction. Right. He is not deemed eligible, like literally as it sits right now. Am I correct? Like
I don't know about the eligibility. Like I know the NCAA ruled him ineligible, denied his appeal. He's playing under an injunction.
Right, and so to me that means he's ineligible.
So do they vacate all their wins?
They can't.
That's the thing that I'm interested to know because I was researching the other day and I thought this was super interesting. So for the Bediako situation, I said this earlier in the show, he played under a temporary restraining order, not an injunction, because his injunction got denied, I believe. But he played under the TRO for Alabama. They won a couple games. He played parts in those games. The NCAA, even though he was ruled ineligible and had to stop playing, they cannot go back and vacate those wins or punish Alabama because he was playing under the TRO. I don't know how that changes with the injunction because Trinidad Chambliss eventually will have another court case that decides whether he's eligible or not. It could be a year from now. It could be 10 years from now.
It could be at the end of the season.
That's what I'm saying. It could happen at any time. And if he is ruled ineligible, well, what happens then? Can you go back and vacate all of Ole Miss's wins from this season? I'm not sure how that.
But my thing is,
I'm not an attorney.
If I'm a fan,
You played one on TV.
oh, thank you.
if I'm a fan, I don't care if you go back and vacate wins. Like if I'm say LSU basketball, RJ Luis gets deemed ineligible, they get injunction, he plays underneath it, and they play the entire season and they make a run. They're stacked, they're playing well, they make a run to the Final Four, and all these great memories, whatever. And then 5 years later, they say, well, RJ Luis was ineligible. We've got to vacate those wins from that season. You know what you can't vacate?
Is
My memory. Me sitting in the stadium when they're playing in the Final Four, you can't get rid of that. Like
You can't vacate the revenue generated in Baton Rouge.
if you're an Ole Miss fan, and they make this run this year to the playoff again,
and let's be honest. Every state, Ole Miss filed those cases, those injunctions and stuff in Mississippi. You think they don't know what they're doing?
Right.
Ohio State got ruled in Ohio State. You think, look, they're picking and choosing what courts they go into.
Of course.
And just like the House, they filed the House suit in California. Why? Because California's courts are a little bit more liberal than other places. So they got that through in California. So then you're going to have, it's one of these cases are going to have to go up to the U.S. Supreme Court and get ruled on by the Supreme Court to set a net across the country. Because if you just leave it up to the state courts, which I am okay with leaving it up to the state courts, but it's just like
they're going to do what's best for their state program.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, come on, you're a state. It's a state school,
right.
And so I just think they need to just let this all play out. You missed your opportunity to put the rules in place, like you said. You should have done it before rather than after.
You should have been prepared.
And so you weren't. And so guess what? You're on your own now. Let it go. Let it play out.
And I'm scared as a college sports fan because I don't genuinely know how you fix it, because now that you've set this precedent that whatever any governing body rules, you can just go to the court, even if there's a new organization that comes along. I don't know how you combat that. I think now when you're I don't disagree with anything you said about like the RJ Lewis being eligible and then ruled ineligible. What's it,
Luis?
Is it Luis? Okay, sorry, RJ Luis. But when you get into a situation where it's like what you just said of even if that stuff is vacated later on down the line, I still want to win. That's a really sticky situation to get into. I agree, but I do agree. I would rather have that, make that run, than not have it and just be bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's not. It doesn't make me feel good.
No. Morally,
inside.
it's probably not right. But at the same time,
Well, Lynn, last year with your guy from Alabama, I don't know how to say his name. Bediako, whatever the hell his name is. I'm not going to say it. But him, to stop him from playing mid-season.
Right.
Come on. I don't agree with that. I mean, because you're toying with a kid's future, with his emotions.
Well, he's a man. Playing the NBA.
Yeah, true. You're toying with this person's emotions and stuff,
Right.
and so I just don't feel like that's right. I mean, look, Greg Sankey, you're the commissioner today. You're not the commissioner tomorrow. You're the commissioner today. You're not the commissioner for the next 3 weeks. Oh, by the way, we're going to take you out. We're going to suspend you for 6 weeks. But then you come. I mean, come on, man. You're not going to do that to you. So why do you to these players?
And that's what's going to be interesting. Is
And
like
so I do think that you're going to, even if there's another governing body, I think before they do that, they would have to set U.S. legislation for college athletics before the new body gets instituted or initiated, and go, here's the deal. These are the rules. But then again, you can't fight the court system, man. The court rules.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We did just have
Breaking
news.
Big shocker.
Breaking news. Huge surprise. Game day is going to Oxford week 3.
Breaking fork found in kitchen. Squirrel finds nut.
They call that a layup.
So we're gonna have game day at Clemson for Clemson game. We're gonna be in game day at Oxford. Mm-hmm. God, could you imagine if LSU wins?
Probably Texas.
If LSU beats Ole Miss, Texas, they gotta be here for Texas.
They
might as well just park their trailer here for the season.
If LSU is 3-0 after the Ole Miss game, Texas will be a game day game because I don't see them losing.
They play Texas in November.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, if they get off to a hot start like that, I don't see that. Like, game day's coming back.
Well, it depends on what the record looks like then. Like, you can start 3-0 and then lose.
Right? No, I agree. I just don't see them starting 3-0 and then tanking their season from there. That would be.
I get that. It's just like how I would preface it is if Texas and LSU are both alive in the playoff hunt, that's probably a game day game.
Yeah.
Like if they are going into the bye week for LSU, if they've only lost one game at that point.
And I would enjoy one last ride with Alabama of like Alabama LSU.
See, that's the one I think. I just don't think they would choose that one for game day because I think they have to pick between one of those two.
There's too many LSU games on the
They
slate
have to pick
as well.
between Bama or Texas, and they probably put their chips on.
I
the
do
Texas
think
game.
there's also. I think the LSU Alabama week is a loaded slate,
Yeah.
and I think that's the Oregon Ohio State.
And
week.
that's okay for them to go for Alabama. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Go if you're here for Clemson, Texas, and you're
And
at
Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss. Okay, give somebody else a shot.
Yeah.
LSU has game day 2 out of the first 3 weeks.
It's
What are
absurd.
the other games in week 1? Because
Ole Miss, Louisville,
but that's on a Sunday.
I guess the games
yeah.
aren't that good because
They're not.
Clemson LSU is really not that great of a game. It's just Lane Kiffin's first game. That's
No,
right.
Ole Miss, Louisville is the only ranked.
That's the
matchup.
best game,
and
but
then,
it's on a Sunday.
Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Wisconsin play, but that's on a Monday.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Alabama plays Eastern Carolina.
Right.
There's nothing crazy.
There's no good games.
Yeah.
because you don't schedule them. Like LSU is just the last of the people that are scheduling these.
Well, they're not
games.
even anymore. Now we're playing week 0 games against
as they should.
state school. Yeah, absolutely. Again, Lane Kiffin on the forefront of doing whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. It's going to be crazy on campus. You want to
yeah.
talk about
Oh, yeah.
getting in and out of campus? I mean,
Thank
it's
God
gonna
I
be-
live there. If you need to park somewhere, I got you. I know you got to park.
I think Charles is okay. Actually.
Hey, I mean, you never know. All right, I'm just offering.
I appreciate
my
that.
facilities because he
I
offers us
appreciate
his.
that.
There
I
you go.
appreciate
Look
that.
at you, Chris.
I appreciate that. That's very nice.
It's really growing.
And Wyatt, I got to tell you, I'm getting ready to leave, so I got to tell you, very good points today. Very educated points.
Oh,
you
thank
show
you.
You show your LSU education off that well.
Thank you. That LSU education got him a buy
All
one
7
get one
years
free
of
at Chipotle. Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I got buy one, get one free at Chipotle. I'm making my money
I'm
back.
not a Chipotle fan.
Really?
What?
I eat Chipotle. Well, on my diet, I've been eating Chipotle every single day. It's one of my 4 things that I eat every day.
Yeah,
It's
he needs
not
to start
working.
buying.
It is working. Don't fuck
I'm
off.
messing with you, bud.
Leave me alone.
I'm messing with you, man. You've kept your hair nice and
Yeah, he has.
Man,
I hate my hair right now. It looks awful.
Well, get a cut.
He's looking for
I know, it's
a
not-
medication to stop it from thinning more.
Oh, thanks
because he
for
thinks it's
broadcasting
thinning.
that.
Yeah, no
Hey,
problem.
Hey, boss. This is thinning hair.
I know, and
That's not.
no, I understand, but there is a little bit up top
No.
where
Pull your
because
hair
listen,
back like this. It's just running to the back of your head,
no, I know,
and that's okay. 'Cause you
No,
still have
I
something
know,
coming
I know.
over
It's
front.
not that bad. What it is I saw my brother on vacation. He's got a little bit of the same thing going on. It's not horrible.
Your older
like-
brother? You
No,
know.
my younger brother.
Yeah. So what do you worry about? You older and you got more hair. What
I
is
know-
it-
no,
What does
no.
Papa Vaughn have?
He's become
Balding?
pretty thin.
Really?
But it's not like he has hair all over his head. It's just I guess more sparse. I guess
Like
you can-
this.
No, but he doesn't have like a spot.
Yarmulke spot.
He doesn't have. Yeah, he doesn't have. I didn't know. I didn't want to offend you. Yeah, he
No,
doesn't
it
have a
doesn't
bald
offend me.
spot. But
okay.
so basically, I want to because I've read if you start like early, it helps you more. So I want to get to it
Get ahead of the
before it's-
curve.
Get ahead of the curve. Exactly.
Man, NCAA, listen to this. This guy's getting ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of the curve, man. I'm Lane Kiffin. I'm
There
getting
you
ahead
go.
of the curve.
Your hair
Will
hair
Wade.
Kiffin.
Will Wade.
Yeah.
All of them. Jay
All right,
Johnson.
guys. Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
Peace.
Enjoyed
Always
it.
love to see you.
Yep.
Well,
Enjoyed it.
Chrissy, can you think you can run a break?
Yeah, I can do that.
Think you can
should
pull
have
it
told
off?
me 10 minutes earlier.
Yep. The poor guy. Y'all been going at this all the time and no breaks.
Nope,
Nope,
not yet.
no breaks.
About to take a
Oh my
break.
We're about to
God.
take
Noah
some,
said last
watch
night he was
this.
like, "We're just gonna go for 2.5
Just
hours.
gonna go for 2 hours, no
Not
breaks.
no breaks."
Take a little
You
pressure
have
off
to
Chrissy.
find the break though.
Let's see,
It's
where did
probably gonna
Lloyd-
be
where did
in,
LC put it?
So you know how there's this different
Yeah, I see.
categories at the top?
You think he did that? He
Yeah, I
actually
think
sorted
he
them
might
into
have.
categories.
There might be one that says ads or
Aha! You're not wrong.
videos. Yep.
All right, we'll catch y'all soon.
Your home, the roof over your head matters. And we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we open up hour number 2 on this Friday morning. Big news yesterday. LSU pitching still really good. Cade Anderson gets called up to the majors. About time. Feels like this is a little overdue. I know there's all these rules and timelines and calendars and whatever in pro baseball. But like Jay Johnson said at the podium after LSU hoisted trophy number 8, after dominating Coastal Carolina, especially after that Game 1 victory where Cade goes CG and just absolutely throttles the Chanticleers, Cade Anderson was a professional pitcher right then and there. And didn't take him long to get to the pros. Cade gets called up by the Mariners and will make his debut on Saturday versus the Cubbies, who are playing some pretty good baseball as well. But, man, cannot wait to see Cade Anderson play professional baseball. Like I said, he was a professional pitcher 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. He's just now officially you can call him an MLB pitcher getting called up to the show. And like Jay Johnson said, I put it out on Twitter yesterday, if you're a pitcher and you don't go to LSU, you're out to lunch. Because
out to dinner.
Or out to dinner because the proof is in the pudding. I mean, it's like Anthony Einson, it's not going to be long before he gets called up, right? I mean, you just the best pitcher in the world went to LSU. Now you have this Cade Anderson's pretty dang good pitcher as well, and you're seeing the proof of national championship called up to the majors, national championship called up to the majors. I mean, and Gates Jump unfortunately didn't win the Natty. Guess what? Called up to the majors. Like if you're not going to LSU, you're out to lunch. It's the hardest working head coach in baseball. I mean, he could be sitting down for a meal, get 2 phone calls in the middle of eating his dinner and he's going to take him because he works that hard.
Absolutely.
He's the best in the business, and shout out to Cade Anderson. 2 claps. Ready.
32 claps.
Christian, what was your reaction?
I do like that idea.
I want to ask you.
It definitely put into perspective of like, holy shit, I'm a fucking loser. But at the same time,
because of course you went to high.
Could not be happier. Like, talk about somebody who was so humble when I knew him. You know, I guess I still know him now.
Back in
like
the day when
you would have never expected Cade to be.
Let's lay the groundwork here.
A top
You
pitching
obviously
prospect.
grew up with Cade.
Yes.
Went to high school with him. Graduated from high school with him.
Yes, I graduated from St. Paul's in 2023.
As did
Cade. Cade was in my grade. We took many classes together, whatever.
Golly.
The one thing I like to tell people about Cade is that in high school at least, and I mean in college too when I did see him a few times, one of the kids that like you just would never have expected to be like some crazy top Division I athlete that's going to LSU. Like never gave that off, never treated anybody like that. So to see him succeed, to see him go to LSU, you know, and live out I think many of our dreams.
Yeah.
Was very cool, and honestly, nobody more deserving than Cade. So, kudos to Cade. That was cool to see yesterday. And also now I can tell people, you know, I went to high school with a Major League Baseball player, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, you did.
The better he gets, it goes up. You were like, yeah, I knew him. I had a couple classes with him. If he becomes like a Hall of Fame, he's like, childhood best friend.
He was in my wedding.
Yeah, it's at my wedding.
What was
exactly.
interesting was we had a kid from St. Paul's go play for LSU, and Jay Johnson kind of hurt his elbow, whatever. It's one of my buddies.
Jay Johnson hurt his elbow?
No, played for Jay Johnson, then hurt his
There
elbow.
you go. You just need to work on your pacing and how you say things.
Okay, my fault. One of my buddies' brothers.
You said, went to
played
LSU, Jay
here.
Johnson kind of hurt his elbow. And I was like,
And he didn't do much. He was a highly touted prospect, didn't do much. So I was kind of like, nobody's really expecting that for Cade in the sense of like top 3 overall pick and all that. Like, you're kind of expecting like a similar, like, yeah, maybe he'll play like a backseat role kind of. Well, Cade gets LSU, and it's like, all right, he pitches midweek. You know, you're not jumping in the water just yet with Cade. Like, yeah, in high school he was great, so he's going to be great in college. Well, the second year rolls around, and you're like, holy fuck. Like, this was the kid people were talking about his junior year before he had Tommy John. Like, this kid can fucking throw it. And, I mean, you're seeing it now.
he's a
Like,
baller.
best pitching prospect since Paul
I mean,
Skeens.
going into the season, it was Chase Shores as the Friday night guy.
Right,
Was the conversation, the thought. And then it was like,
I
remember Lloyd came in, he was like, I think it's Cade. And I was like,
yeah, and there was serious
Okay, it's Cade.
conjecture of
Awesome.
like Chase Shores is going to earn his way into Friday. He didn't have the chance.
no, Cade
He
was
didn't
the
have
best
chance.
pitcher from
And-
the second he
yeah,
started
and
pitching.
Ianson locked down Saturday. He never had a chance.
And I think when you say no one expected him to be this great college baseball, I think you mean from a personality standpoint. You'd never think that someone humble and kind like him. But then when he steps on the mound and shoves 15 strikeouts against some Catholic League school, then you could
especially
he's pretty good.
Especially when they go to St. Paul's, you would expect them to be, like this. Because, St. Paul's kids, they suck.
I know, they're
and
the
so
worst.
5A school won the state championship 5 years ago.
This kid's cocky. He's got nothing to be cocky about. And for Cade to be humble, being maybe that's why he's in the league.
Yeah, sure.
And my first thought, unfortunately, went to LC. I hate that when I see something and my first thought is Lloyd Courtney. But
happens often.
I know, and it sucks. But I immediately thought of Lloyd because Cade making his debut Saturday against the Cubs.
Yep.
Paul Skeens also made his debut against the Cubs. Not an envious position, I would assume, for Lloyd, who is a fan of the Cubs and has to watch his team that he cheers for take on two of the greatest pitchers.
Who's playing really good baseball.
They are playing
Cubs
very
are
good baseball.
balling.
PCA, the electric 30-30 home run the other night.
Was,
but that was the first thing I thought.
No, it wasn't at all. I hated every second of it. I hate that man, but I'm so happy for Cade. The other thing is like you're starting to see, and the Red Sox too, like they are making trades and trying to get players opportunities. Obviously, Ianson with the Orioles now. And that's an even better opportunity for him to get called up quick. But like with the Mariners traded Luis Castillo to the White Sox, and Castillo, 3-time All-Star, was a stud for the Reds in 2022. They just signed him to a big contract, and it's like they're kind of struggling. And he's a guy that can still, like, he's had a iffy year, but he's a guy that can, still throw 97 miles an hour, can still give you a changeup that's disgusting.
There's no reason to get rid of him.
No reason to get rid of him, but they have guys, they have opportunities, and there's no reason unless you have a great young man and a great talent in an arm like Cade Anderson to bring him up. It's great for him. I'm so happy for him. I think he's going to shove on Saturday.
How much of a credit to that LSU 2025 pitching staff that Cade, they literally, like you said, they ship off a pitcher to get Cade up sooner.
That was literally
and
the
then
whole thing.
Ianson is the main piece in the Rushman trade.
Right.
Like, that's the reason why the Orioles made it, so they could get I.
When the Mariners traded Castillo, all of the Mariners fans were like, this is actually a good move because this gets Anderson up a lot quicker. And a lot of Mariners fans were worried that it was going to be kind of a situation where they bring him in as a reliever.
Right.
And they were going to call him up early, bring him in as a reliever, maybe a mid-7 inning, 6 inning.
Mismanage it a little bit.
Because sometimes that can hurt a starting pitcher. Sometimes that can just hurt their growth, especially if you want them to just pitch 7 innings.
You draft him to be an ace, let him go be an ace.
Exactly. So I'm pumped for him. He's going to be a stud.
They've managed it well, and it's just awesome. You see how it all plays out with Skeens. Then you see Gage Jump get called up, and he play well. Tommy White gets called up. He hits back-to-back homers.
Dude, he's killing it,
right?
too.
And then now you see, like, it's just Jay Johnson has this thing. It is a machine. Like, LSU baseball is a monster.
And it's only going to get better.
That's the craziest part is that, like, it's only getting better. So it's hard to not be excited about what the athletic calendar has ahead of us. Chrissy, you saw anything at practice yesterday?
I mean, yeah, what do you want to know?
I'll talk about practice real quick.
Wait, no, I got it. Hold on. Don't steal the limelight.
What was the
now.
number one thing that stood out to you
Number
at
one
practice?
takeaway. Well, I think there's one thing. I'll say this. Yesterday I focused on the defense. Lamar Brown was not out there.
Yep.
Whether that was precautionary, whether that's something serious, who knows? I know he's due to miss time. I know that report came out, so we'll see how he comes along. But from what we know about the defensive line, now is more than ever important to add Jack Pyburn because Lamar Brown was ahead of the curve. Lamar Brown was going to play as a freshman, and so for him to miss some time, that's not good. So to get Jack Pyburn, that would be huge. That would help some depth in the defensive line room.
And I'll say, to your point, just to make sure we keep all of our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
LouisianaSports.net is who reported it. They said Lamar Brown was not present. Matt Moscona is reporting that the freshman defensive end suffered a leg injury during Tuesday's practice and will miss some time. That further thins LSU's defensive end position, and he was the only notable absence. So just to kind of go along with your point there. Two guys returned to practice, though, however, right? On the defensive line? Both Jordan
Yes.
Ross and Blockton were back.
And yes, Malik Blockton as well was back. Blockton, a little bit of a limp out there. I would expect him, because he was out there with a knee brace on, he would only progress and continue to get better. And if they knowing Lane Kiffin and the way he's kind of run this thing from day one in terms of like injury protocol and making sure guys
They're
are all right,
responsible about it.
I'd imagine if he's out there, he's fine.
Yep.
It's a ramp up thing. I would expect them. I would expect their timetable to literally be week 1 and like, all right, we can have him out at practice because we know he's going to be healthy for week 1. I would imagine that's how it works.
Yeah.
And then also Jordan Ross. I mean, he's going to be pivotal in the sense of like, you kind of need him for like, if he's not that great, you still need his body. Like you still need him out there.
You need.
And so, pause. You need him out there.
Hey, good point.
You pulled him out the portal to go play, and he's going to need to play. You want your money on the field. Jordan Ross needs to be on the field.
Even if he's not that great, what do you need, Chrissy?
You need his body.
There you go.
His body, his choice.
Okay. So filling in for LC over there, full replacement.
His body, Lane's choice.
But I will say, okay. Some of what stood out to me, obviously there was some of the practice things. Listening to Lane in the press conference, there are a couple of answers that I liked. This one, he was asked about where he feels this team is from the beginning of fall camp to now. The answer was, and I quote, "I feel the defense is still performing really well, especially the ones. Prince Will has really been a dominant force, especially in the ability to catch the quarterback, which I think is very important nowadays. Not just being good rushers. These quarterbacks, I feel like more people have turned to athletic quarterbacks in college football. The big part of third downs is when you get there, can you get them down? That was in our favor a lot last year on offense. Made a number of plays today like that. So I feel like our defense is playing really well. We still have a lot of work to do depth-wise. We still have a lot of work to do in the defensive tackle spot, figuring that out. Our offense has started to improve. Sam has been awesome. He really has been. I don't say that very often, but he made 2 throws back-to-back today. I call them adult throws that not many people in the country can make. I'm really pleased with him, and now we've got to make more plays around him." Continues on, gives another answer about Sam Levitt. He said, I think going through spring where he couldn't really push off and move around, that's hard to throw and be in rhythm. And so kind of one of those things, as much as I disliked it at the time, it kind of has been awesome because now you see all these things. We'd seen them on film, and then they were gone, and then they came back. It's just been great. He's doing a great job with Charlie and Dane and really seeing the field really well, getting us in and out of things. So I'm excited to see him play. I just want to get everybody else making enough plays around him. I'll repeat the last sentence of both of those quotes. I'm really pleased with him, and now we've got to make more plays around him. So I'm excited to see him play. I just want to get everybody else making enough plays around him. That's obviously something that stood out to Lane because he's saying it. And so, one, it's awesome to hear about your quarterback, especially from a guy like Lane Kiffin who knows what he's looking at, is probably the best in the country at it, talking that highly of of Sam Levitt and the shape that he's in. Not sure what's going on next door. But to hear that, and then to come down to, and I would assume this is about the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Because they do speak so highly of the run game. And so with the wide receivers, you need guys to step up and be playmakers. Like, you need guys to make plays. It can't be 14 every play.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we know they're going to feed the ball to Trey-Dez. At some point, defenses are going to try to take that away. Now, that helps you because that opens some things up, but guys have to be playmakers. Trey Wilson has got to be a playmaker. Jace Brown has to be a playmaker. Winnie Watkins, Trey Brown, Jackson Harris, you got to make plays. Harlem Berry, Dylan Jones, like even not in the run game, in the pass game, like you've got to be playmakers and make plays.
Chucky.
And so I thought it was very interesting hearing Lane kind of repeat that line twice in his press conference yesterday.
Yeah, I thought that was a super interesting quote because I've been saying for a while, like, my biggest thing with Sam Levitt is, what are you asking him to do? Mm-hmm. I've maintained, like, I understand the quarterback is always going to be the headliner and the one that everybody wants to talk about. I don't have a ton of concern about Sam Levitt specifically. When I look at this offense, it's what are you asking Sam Levitt to do? If you're able to protect him up front, have a competent run game, and have playmakers on the outside that can take a 4-yard hitch route and make it a 15-yard gain, have guys that can win in one-on-one battles, I think Sam Leavitt can absolutely operate and facilitate that offense. If you're talking about the opposite, where you can't protect him, you can't run the ball, and you don't have guys who are winning their one-on-ones, then I think that's where you get into a situation of where Sam Leavitt will struggle. So to hear Lane Kiffin say the guys around him have to make plays, I think we've all been saying that for months now. It's not just about Sam Leavitt. He's going to have the arm talent. I think he's going to be able to pick up the system. Lane talked about him making some adult throws, and that's going to be necessary because at the end of the day, we all love the scheme. It's not all about the scheme, though. The scheme's not going to win you every single play, every single down. There are times where Sam Leavitt is going to have to go out and make a play. Harlem Berry's going to have to go out and make a play. Trades Green is going to have to go out and make a play and just say, the guy across from you, I'm better than you. You know, so to hear Lane Kiffin say that, I think it echoes kind of what we've been saying for a long time, and I absolutely agree, and it's good to know that me and Lane are on the same page.
Daquan Wright's going to have to go out there and make a play.
Oh, don't get me fucking trying to get me a boner.
But this always interesting to hear him say that because he's not doing those things on accident, right? He's not. That's obviously something that's resonating with him, that he wants guys to make sure they go make plays around him. Don't put Sam Leavitt in a position where he's got to do it all himself. Right? Like, have guys out there to make plays around him, and I trust that they're going to be able to pull that off, especially if it's something that he's focused on, because if he's saying it twice, he's focused on it. And it's awesome to hear. Another thing I think should be a breath of fresh air for a lot of LSU fans is that Princewill has been a dominant force in the ability to catch the quarterback, which to me is where I hope this defense makes one of the biggest jumps from last year.
Yeah.
Because last year's defense turned the football over, made plays, like did a lot of good things. One place where they struggled was against mobile quarterbacks, and they struggled to bring guys down, like to finish the sack. When you have Diego Pavia in the backfield, you got to take him down. It's not easy. Diego Pavia is a stout little son of a gun, but you got to get him to the ground. Lenore Sellers, that's a put-together football player. You got to get him to the ground. Marcel Reed, not that stout. Quick, though. Finish the play. You got to be able to make those things happen. And if Princewill is what I think a lot of us believe he's going to be, and you have some other guys that can make plays next to him, and they can finish those, if they can stay the same from a turnover number standpoint, but sack the quarterback more, you go from a top 20 defense to a top 15 defense. Like, you become that much better. And that's what I'm excited to see. With all the length they have in the backfield, I think Ty Benefield could be one of the best players in the country. If Princewill also checks that box, that's real good stuff for Blake Baker.
Yeah, and it makes your defensive line, the jobs of the rest of your defensive line so much easier, because the same way you're talking about you're having to double Trades Green and now the other wide receivers have one-on-ones, it's the same exact thing with the defensive line. If you have to go out and chip Prince William on Ellen with a tight end, that makes it difficult now on the other team's tight end. If you have to double team Prince Will with the left tackle and the left guard, that now means the rest of your defensive line is going to have one-on-ones. I want Deuce Gerald's in a one-on-one with a guard. I want Jordan Ross in a one-on-one with the right tackle. So those other guys are going to have to step up, because I do think it will get to a point where if Prince Will is as dominant as we've seen in fall camp.
Make his job easier.
Yeah, it makes his job easier as well. But like, if he is as dominant as we've seen, they're eventually teams are going to say, we have to not let this guy wreck our game plan.
Yeah.
We have to allow the other guys to have shots for one-on-ones, because we don't trust them.
When your game plan was to stop B.J. Ojolari, it opened up a lane for Harold Perkins to go out there and make plays. When your game plan was to stop Harold Perkins, it opened up a place for Braden Swinson to go make plays. But they capitalized on it. Right? Like last season, that's where that defense, really the one arena that they let me down in. Outside of that, I thought they were great.
Yeah.
Like, the mobile quarterback stuff still was an issue. But the real place that upset me was you got to finish the sack. Like, they would get in the backfield. They would get their hands on the quarterback. Yeah. Quarterback would slip out, and then Pavia would be able to run for 25 yards. Can't let that happen.
That's the thing. They weren't bad pass rushers. Like, they got pressure, I would say fair. I don't think they were elite pass rushers, but they got pressure fairly consistently.
I think the biggest issue was the interior.
Yeah.
Because where you see LSU get gashed a bunch with mobile quarterbacks is the drop back, and we always say that, they're over-rushing their pass lanes,
Right.
which they might be in a sense, like they could be, but at the same time, it's also you have to get that push from the interior
I feel like
to keep them in to where they can't step up and then run and gash you at the middle of the field, because that's where, especially if you're going to be a man coverage defense, you get put in a tough spot.
Right.
If you've got your DBs and you've got guys that have their backs turned, you can have somebody that can make plays, and you've got to be sound defensively, especially in that interior. And that's where I do think Lane also brings it up. We still have a lot of work to do depth-wise. We still have work to do in the defensive tackle spot. That's what I'll be interested to see. I know that we have all this confidence in these young guys. I think they're really putting the pressure on Dominic McKinley to step up and be a guy. And from what Lane said yesterday, he's done a good job. He didn't have the greatest spring, but he's really adjusted well here in the fall. You need him to step up. You need Stefillian Green to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like, you need these mature, older, experienced guys. You need Malik Blockton to get back healthy. You need these guys to step up and take some of that pressure off of those younger guys so that when Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson get out there, they can be put in a situation to be successful.
And I mean, this reminds me of the baseball thing where like the interior line last year was not good enough, so you made up a term of like they're over rushing their pass lanes. No, that just literally means that interior defensive line is not getting a good enough push.
Well, no,
the same thing was true with like
lane.
releasing the barrel. Like, what does that even fucking mean? Like, are we sure that's the problem, or are we coping and making up a term for the problem? You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of like, yeah, sure, they might be over rushing their pass lanes, but they're not doing it every single time. The interior defensive line has to be responsible a little bit, and that's where I think you see, hopefully, the depth come into play, the freshmen play, and you don't talk about over rushing pass lanes anymore.
Over rushing pass lanes is a real thing, but you can oversay. It's not always accurate. Sometimes it is. They're in the right spot. The offensive line does their job of creating a lane for the quarterback to step up. Like, that's what I remember. We talked about that 2022 Tennessee game last year, or last night. That's what Hendon Hooker was so good at. Was stepping up in the interior. That's what Drew Brees was great at. I mean, he was 5'11", 6 feet tall. What made him great was he would always step up and climb the pocket, and they would always be over rushing their pass lanes. So,
100%.
it'll be exciting to see, and it's good to hear from Lane Kiffin yesterday. I think it's about that time to do LSU trivia. Chrissy, do you think you can?
I can pull it up. Yeah, y'all gotta keep riffing, but yeah, I can pull it up.
You think you can do it?
What's the website called?
It should pop up when you look up. You just type in LSU. I'm sure LSU trivia will come up.
Last thing I'll say about practice yesterday, I was happy to hear Lane Kiffin give some flowers to Stacey Gage. I think it was Scarborough who asked the question. Don't quote me on that. Someone asked the question about Stacey Gage, and Lane Kiffin literally said, "It's a good eye by you. He has been doing well." So happy for him. I think he's come in and done a good job, and that's one of those guys, I think, when we talked about Lane Kiffin in the transfer portal coming into the offseason, who is going to be that guy who's maybe not highly rated in the portal class that may be a kind of diamond in the rough, right? You talk about last year you had Trinidad Chambliss and Kejuan Lacey, who were not highly rated guys. Now, I don't think you have one to that extent. Those are a little bit different. But I'm very interested to see who becomes that 3-star transfer guy who steps up and has a big impact on this season. Maybe it's Stacey Gage. I'm liking what I'm hearing for him. It sounds like he's going to play, with Harlem Berry and Dylan Jones. Obviously, they're going to get the lion's share. But happy for him. Happy to hear he's doing well. It was good to hear about him from Lane Kiffin.
And the first clue is...
Nicolas Cage.
I was a first-team All-SEC player at LSU and NFL draft pick.
Real specific here,
See,
Carter.
this screams like a weird position.
Okay.
Like this screams like when we had Blake Ferguson. Like I'm thinking like Cade York.
Send it. Cade York.
Oh. Can't type.
Keyboard enable.
Yes. General keyboard enable. Give me a second.
That was the best thing ever.
Yo,
Come on,
Manny, what's
Christy.
going on over there?
So, like, are you?
Come on, Chrissy, you
is
can do
the
it.
key to this to get like obscure?
Not
No.
always.
There's one answer.
Well, right. I know
Right.
you're trying to get to the one answer, but like, are you trying to think obscure, or no?
I was just trying to think of the answer.
Okay.
So it could be anybody.
It's not. It's just.
We've
It's
done
kind of
this
ingrained
enough.
in your brain.
Yeah,
No, I
we've
know,
done
I'm
this enough to where it's like it's not like Joe Burrow
Okay.
and like Jamar Chase. Like we had like one of them was Blake Ferguson, a long snapper. So like we've read enough hints over the couple. We've been doing this for a couple weeks now. We've read enough hints to kind of decipher what things
Was
mean.
Arden
I think
Key first team?
he probably was.
Yeah, I mean, when he said
There's going to be a ton.
No, that's what I'm just.
There's
I'm
going to
just
be a ton of
thinking
first
names.
team All SEC
I'm just
NFL
thinking
draft
names.
pick. We need to get to the second clue.
I wore a double. You put
Okay.
you misspelled his last name.
It's not with the. There's no E. Who am I thinking of with the E?
Zach York. It's not Cade York because
That's not my fault. That's not my fault. He scarred me. He scarred me.
Yeah, but
I'm scarred.
next time you're not sure, just ask.
Does that matter?
Oh, this is his. He hates.
I
this.
hate when people don't understand, don't know how
Does
to
this
spell
matter?
names. Of course it matters.
Carter, come on, upgrade your game, man.
No,
come on, if
you
I'm-
learn how to
we can't-
spell
we're not
names of
blaming
players that
Carter.
played at LSU.
We're not blaming Carter for that. You
My
spelled it wrong.
gosh, I hate-
It's not. It's not Cade
It's
York.
so easy.
It is. It could be a double-digit jersey. Dude, chill, bro.
so easy to get names.
Relax.
Right. It's
Okay,
so- it pisses me
double-digit
off.
jersey number. So Arden Key is in play. There's so many of these. It could be first team All SEC. It could be like the fact that it says just NFL draft pick makes me think it wasn't a super high.
Yeah.
Because they'd say
pick.
first rounder if it was first rounder.
I think so too. So probably not like LaRon Landry or like Jamal Adams. Who would have been first team All SEC, but not necessarily the highest draft pick and wore a double-digit jersey number?
When did Mingo get drafted? What
Mingo was 6th overall.
was he?
overall,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no way Foster Moreau was first team All SEC.
I don't think so. Franco Nation, that's a good. Glenn Dorsey's a good guess.
Dorsey.
He got drafted in the top 5, didn't he?
I'm just thinking.
We're not going to get it on this guess. We're just going to have to put something
Yes,
in.
Andrew Messina, Zach and Cade are related.
I don't know.
Could it be like a special teamers?
What about
Special teamer?
was
Special
Damone Clark
teamers.
first team All SEC? Should have won the
He
Butkus.
should have won the butt because N'Kobe Dean won it,
I'm thinking
which would make me think maybe not.
maybe a transfer guy.
Makai Wingo,
Could be Makai
It's
Wingo.
not a bad guess.
he was a late pick.
See, the other, and maybe I'm looking into this too much. I think the second clue leads me to believe he only wore one jersey number.
jersey. Okay.
Because I think Carter would put in, I
Uh-huh.
wore multiple double-digit jerseys. Maybe I'm looking too far into it.
Kendall Beckwith.
Could be Kendall Beckwith.
He
Go
was
with Kendall
first team.
Beckwith.
He was first team.
You can just put in the last name, I'm pretty sure.
My procurer's kind of like.
Marcus Colston. Wait, did he spell Marcus wrong?
No, that is how you spell
Is
it.
that seriously you spelled
You
Marcus
did.
Colston?
You are 0 for 2 on names.
Honestly,
I mean,
the
I
fact
didn't know how to
that-
read whenever Marcus
No,
Colston
no, 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 no.
plays.
You
Oh, no,
spelled
that
Ken-
is
no,
not
I'm
how
saying
you
you
spell
spelled.
it. It's an
you
E
s-
instead of an I.
Yeah, you spelled Kendall Beckwith wrong.
Oh, well, I mean,
Did he
that's
really?
his
It's a
parents'
E,
name.
not an
That's
A.
how you spell Kendall, and that's how you spell Beckwith.
No, Beckwith is right. You just misspelled Kendall.
Yeah, okay, well, his parents are just, they didn't spell his name right.
You're trying to take up LC's mantle.
Yeah, I mean, you just.
Unbelievable.
That's not on me.
Okay, my pro career is kind of like Marcus Colston. An NFL franchise voted me as one of their top 100 players ever, but I never made the Pro Bowl. Oh, okay, okay. So I see what it's saying. So who never made the Pro Bowl from LSU? So this has got to be
Tyron, did he make a Pro Bowl?
Yes. You actually, dude. We
You
might
just-
need to
you
muzzle
need to stop
We might
talking.
need to
Did-
muzzle you.
That is
Corey
good.
Webster?
Corey Webster is a good guess, and it's spelled right in the chat, so you should not get this one wrong. I'm good. I'm good. Right.
I could see him being top 100 all time for the Giants.
I trust it. Send it. That's it.
Bang!
I knew it was a
Who
defensive
said that?
back.
Was that who said that? Brandon Hollinsworth. Shout out,
There you go, Brandon.
goat. Tyrann Mathieu actually did wear 14 Cajun curveball.
Yeah, that's
Out of everybody here, you should know your numbers, buddy.
Let me see the.
Tom Brady probably hates me. That could be Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go to the
My
bottom.
name gets shortened similarly to a Sacramento legend, C. Webb. Chris Webber.
You scroll down.
All right, we got our little par.
Scroll down. Why? There's more down here.
Yeah, just to read the little fun facts. There you go. See Webb.
That was big. We needed that because that's a Lloyd Courtney
Can you read it?
era player.
It is. LSU would have probably known that quickly.
Yeah,
That's good.
good stuff. We got
Good
our
work.
par. We'll be back on Monday.
We appreciate you guys. Go ahead and flip the camera, Chrissy.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you broke up a pass in the.
Iconic.
Yeah, didn't know that.
We appreciate you guys. Chrissy, good work. Chrissy will still be producing on Monday because
Oh.
Lloyd won't be back yet.
Oh,
So Monday morning you have to produce again.
Mondays, Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football.
All right.
We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday morning, 8 a.m.